slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is showing something. It's not coming. Hello?
हाँ जी मैम,
No, can he
आप
help?
उसको पहले एक बार फुल स्क्रीन प्ले करिए एंड देन शेयर करिए.
Is it coming now? Hello, can you see my slides?
नहीं मैडम, अभी नहीं आ रही है. आप एक बार अपने लैपटॉप पे फुल स्क्रीन आप उसको करिए एंड देन शेयर इट.
वो किया मैंने एक्चुअली.
एक बार क्लोज करके फिर करिए. अतुल एक्सेस दे दी मैडम को.
Yes, ma'am.
दिया है उसने somehow. No. Something is missing. So, anyways, what can we do? I think can we go ahead with
Till
Dr.
that time, Dr. Pankaj, who is our president of Indian Fertility Society, he can talk about this dream project of self empowerment. And Dr. Pankaj he's a very motivational speaker. So, Dr. Pankaj, we would like to hear from you. I know that you are associated with Art of Living. He's very enthusiastic and dedicated person, and he's the person who thought of empowering each and every person. Like in IFS, he wants every individual to be empowered. So this is very unique. So, Dr. Pankaj, we would like to hear from you about this dream project of self-empowerment.
So thank you so much, Leena, and thank you so much, Dr. Bharti, for giving me this opportunity. So this group is being led by Dr. Bharti, and we have Dr. Rajvi and Leena with us. And if Leena, is your thoughts which I'm putting into practice today. So when we talk about how it came to my mind, I've been thinking from so many years now, and as I gather more and more gray hairs, I think more. When you buy a small watch we buy, it comes with a thick manual. You buy a refrigerator that comes with a very big manual, which you never even open, but it comes with a manual. I think the most complex thing in the world is a human being that comes without any manual, no logbook, no literature how to run it. It comes out, takes a breath, and starts leading their life. And one day, last breath out, and it goes over. Sometimes when you look at a small mammal like a dog, I wonder, it breathes so many times. It keeps breathing, panting all the time. But look at a turtle or an elephant. You'll never find them breathing like that. And look at the life of these two creatures. So I think here what I wanted to speak is that life begins with a breath, and more we control our breath, the longer we live. I, as the president, as an elder brother, or colleague of all of yours, I can say that we can never actually do well in the life without helping ourselves. So we have to self-preserve. हम अपने आप को प्रिजर्व कैसे करें? We can't pour from an empty cup. अगर हमारा कप खाली है तो हम ना तो कुछ पी सकते हैं ना इसमें कुछ रहेगा. सो खाली कप के साथ जीवन नहीं चलेगा. उस कप में हमें कुछ डालना होगा. And not only for myself, it's for every one of us. We are living in a small, complete civilizations. Our family is my whole civilization. My wife is my whole. I run around my wife all the time, whatever I do, and around her. My children. Now IFS, which has got around 4,400 members. So I don't have to only self-preserve myself. I have to self-preserve everyone around me. That's my duty. This thought came to my mind when we were traveling in Indigo flight, and I got a horrible sandwich which came to my on my table, and I was cursing when Leena said, "Sir, आप बड़े bugged up हो रहे हो. Control your breath." The jungly chicken sandwich. I never liked it. I got two of them that day. So I thought, okay, let's do something nice about life, and that's the way the program was initiated around 5 days back. And here we are in front of you. We get a lot of thoughts every day. On average, we're getting around 70,000 thoughts every day. 70,000 thoughts हमारे mind में आते हैं हर रोज. New and old, they keep coming to our mind again and again. It's like a tree which is always, trees are moving, the leaves are shaking. Gentlemen, ladies, 80% of thoughts are the negative thoughts. Some procrastination, वो छूट गया, वो नहीं करा. Some problem with the families, कोई relative मिलने नहीं किया, someone died. So 80% of thoughts out of these 70,000 thoughts are negative thoughts, meaning they drain away our energy. Only few are good thoughts, positive thoughts, and what we had with you, Leena, and we are here with this program. So I think we have to have detox from these thoughts. It's not easy to do. When I really look at it, we find that we spend around 3 hours every day on the social media. And when we calculate how many months in a year, around 3.5 महीना, 1 साल, we are on this mobile phone. 3.5 months in a year, we're on this mobile phone and we are wrecking our lives. So I think we should gradually learn how to move out from these social medias and everything which is bad. In today's world, we are so fortunate in today's world. We are the luckiest ones. My generation with some gray hairs now, we had the privilege of seeing the mobile phone for the first time. We had the privilege of seeing a color TV for the first time. In fact, black and white TV, we saw it for the first time. So we are the people who have seen the whole the world evolving. आने वाले समय के अंदर probably it become too simplified. What I've learned one thing is that till few years back, people died of drought. People died of some sort of issues which happened in their lives. But nowadays, we're dying of overeating. There is excess of everything. We are not dying due to lack of food. There may be, I may be giving a very skewed statement, but overall, we are dying due to overeating, and our bodies are getting choked, like a car getting choked with bad petrol, cars getting choked by bad fuel. I think we need some amount of servicing. Service our mind. We have to. एक छोटा सा उदाहरण दूंगा मैं आपको. अगर एक ग्लास में हम रखें पेट्रोल को और एक ग्लास में हम रखें नींबू पानी, हमें पता नहीं चलेगा कि किसमें पेट्रोल है किसमें नींबू पानी है. Just give the same color, but bring a matchbox near it, and that petrol is gonna go into flames. And this is me. I'm talking about myself. I mean, I know that these people are in total bliss. I can see Dr. Bharti and Leena laughing at me, smiling at me, but I'm telling you that I'm like petrol, always on. But that's the way sometimes in the life when I'm at this chair, I have to be burning. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Everything will happen, but I myself know how to be cool and blissful like Bharti and Dr. Leena and Dr. Rajvi. She's also smiling at me. So my message, little message for all of you is that I'm a firm follower of Bhagavad Gita, though I don't read it as much as Dr. Bharti. She gifted me one Bhagavad Gita some time back. I always say that we should learn how to control our thoughts, control our breath, control our mind. And for this, what do? Our brain is like an animal. Our brain has got 3 parts. सबसे नीचे वाला part है, for all of you who are not doctors, I think all of you would be doctors. The lowest brain is the primitive brain. That is flight and it's responding. किसी ने हमको देखा तो हमें गुस्सा आ गया. किसी ने मेरे मैसेज को लाइक नहीं करा फोन पे, उसको मैंने ब्लॉक कर दिया. किसी ने मेरे बारे में कुछ लिखा तो उसको मैंने लाइफ से एरेज कर दिया. डिवोर्स के लिए फाइल कर दिया. भाई को छोड़ दिया. This is basically a response to a situation. This is our basic reptilian brain. Crocodile or snake, when they feel hungry, they eat their own eggs. They eat their own little children, babies, because they are on survival mode. Human beings are not. We're not on survival mode. And look at the Maslow's pyramid. Uh, Large number of us are living at the lowest possible level, like a reptile. So in our brain, from lower brain to somewhere here, is some beautiful part of the brain called amygdala. Amygdala हमें जो भी थॉट्स जा रहे हैं उनसे फिल्टर करता है और फिल्टर करके जो जो रिस्पॉन्स है हमारा उसको कंट्रोल करता है and gives you the brain to respond to it so that our cortex is going to respond to it. I think we should all learn from Rajvi and Dr. Bharti and Leena how to control our amygdala. Anyone who can control his amygdala is sorted out. So how do we control our thoughts? How do we control our breath? And how do we love ourselves? हम सब बोलते हैं बहुत खूबसूरत लग रही है, बहुत सुंदर लग रहा है, क्या घड़ी पहना है एप्पल का, क्या कार लिया. कभी किसी ने शीशे में देख के बोला कि मैं कितना खूबसूरत हूं? नहीं, हम कभी नहीं करेंगे. लोगों को देख के खूबसूरती के बारे में बोलेंगे. द हैप्पीएस्ट मैन ऑन दिस अर्थ इज फ्रॉम भूटान. This gentleman is a PhD and a lot of work in genetics. He's a monk now. 286 electrodes in his brain for a period of 7 to 8 years. He gave a very nice statement. He said we should become like a mirror. मिरर सब देखता है, शीशा सब देखता है, और जब हम हट जाते हैं तो मिरर हमको भूल जाता है. हम क्या करते हैं? वी आर एब्सॉर्बिंग एवरीथिंग. उसने मुझे विशिंग करा, उसके कपड़े ठीक नहीं थे, उसके नाखून बड़े थे. स्मॉल थिंग्स कीप हंटिंग एंड देन वी make our mirrors so impure that we are always living in hatred. These few thoughts are in my mind as we start this session here. And I believe in power of subconscious mind. I hope you have read this book from an Irish author, my favorite author, Joseph Murphy. In case you have not read it, please read it. At least as we go on with the journey with the trainers of trainers, Dr. Bharti and Dr. Rajvi and Leena, who are my mentors also. एक छोटी सी सलाह दूंगा कि कभी अपने आप को बोलना कि आप बहुत खूबसूरत हैं, आप बहुत अच्छे हैं. लोगों के बारे में बात करना बंद कर दीजिए, पूरा जीवन ठीक हो जाएगा. So thank you so much, Dr. Bharti. Thank you so much, Rajvi and Leena. That's all I could say in my limited, untrained lingo. I'm not as qualified as you people. I'm here to learn from you. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I wish this program all the best. And I'll be so happy that when we have this program in Fertility and we have large number of people under an open sky learning pranayam from Rajvi and hearing about Bhagavad Gita from Dr. Bharti. And Leena, you have to teach me Surya Namaskar. So thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj. It was very nice to hear and learn and hear these lovely words from you. So, Dr. Bharti, we would like to hear about your vision, your
I will
words of
just
wisdom.
see whether I share the screen, otherwise I will just speak.
Yeah.
So we'll just see whether it's possible, because it is asking something different here. See, it is asking application window entire screen. This person can help me here how to go ahead. Share. Okay. Is it coming?
No, ma'am.
But not coming. No, you can either share your slides with the Atul and
Yeah, can I email him?
share it with
Ma'am, you
me.
can WhatsApp me.
See, in my screen, it is coming the entire screen, desktop, application and windows, and share sound and layout and options. See, my desktop is not opening here. Desktop is not.
Madam, you share with us and you start speaking, we'll open it for you.
How to share with you? No, I have to email, you. We cannot. Anyway, I think we should not be wasting the time. let's see after Rajvi's, if I can make it, I will mail it to you and then we can have that. But till then, I will just take the few minutes and I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
It was such a
Bharti ma'am, I am texting you my mail ID. You can just
important.
share it to me.
Yes, my mobile number, you know, no?
I'm texting you in chat
Hello.
box. I'm texting you in chat box
Okay,
on
okay,
Zoom.
okay. But let me just speak to people right now because I think 50 members have been joined, so we should not be unjustifying them. So this is very rightly said by Dr. Pankaj Talwar right now. It is something we are missing to understand ourselves. In Bhagavad Gita, they said there are three types of happiness are there. Three types of happiness. And we usually know two types. Means I knew 5 years back before I actually joined ISKCON and um, before I started reading Bhagavad Gita or understanding Bhagavad Gita. So I knew number one is uh, passion, that is Rajasi Sukh. I knew about the Tamasic Sukh, like, people who are continuously enjoying sleeping. Like today is Sunday, so I would like to sleep, say something around, say till 10 o'clock, till 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. That was something happiness in the mind. So that's how the people used to have the happiness of sleeping or eating more, or as he said, overeating. You keep on going this place, that place, and keep on eating and testing, and these all that all used to give happiness, and that is tamasic happiness. That will lead a person into a lazy attitude, and that is actually not very good for your progress also. Those type of uh, happinesses are very small happinesses and very temporary, and that leads into something very disaster. So just like that, having a lunch and you feel that no, whatever I like, that only it should come in front of me. That is a urge, and that urge is a tamasic soup. So we have to try and understand that is temporary and that is going to give me a laziness later on. The second type of happiness is Rajasi Sukh, that is called passion. You start earning the money, and when you start earning money, I want to take a good car. I want to take. First, you see, whenever you get a very good job in IT, the first thing person does is that tax and books the flat. They want their own house. Then second, they do that own car, best of best car. But that doesn't stop there. One bedroom flat goes to two bedroom flat, then three bedroom flat, and the row house and the villas and all that thing. The car also same thing happens. And I, till 5 years back, I used to also keep thinking that I should be a very good karma yogi. I have to do these all things, earning very properly, honest earning and honest spending, and I should make my all earnings into a very good virtues for my children, and that's it. That was actually, I knew that is the happiness and that is the way I should do, and I am a karma yogi. I'm the best karma yogi. So this also, even suppose politicians also, they all will have, hungry for the power. Like one power, he will become the state person and then international, state, national, and so it power, money, and then positions. All those things actually is the Rajasi Sukh. Why we do this? I used to keep wondering, why do you I want to become a president? Why do I want to become, say, any of the societies, any bigger position or whatever? This is happiness. This gives you happiness. And that's how you become that. Otherwise, why will you work? Who gives money for Dr. Pankaj Talwar to spend money day and night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? He goes from one place to another place, another place. Why we did vice president post 7 years, kept on going one place to another? This is happiness. You want to have the happiness, but that all is passion. That is passionate happiness, Rajasi Sukh. It has an end. That is also temporary. So what exactly we want then? So everybody wants eternal happiness, long lasting happiness, and that long lasting happiness is called the last one in the goodness, that sattvic. So this is what in Bhagavad Gita Bhagwan Sri Krishna said that one has to have a right proportion of all those things. It is going to be there. These three modes are going to be there with us. We cannot live because we are bound with that. The one who goes beyond this is very difficult, but that is something is yogi, what we are going to today see the yogas. So he says in Bhagavad Gita, there are 3-4 types of yogas. We have Bhakti Yoga, we have the Jnana Yoga, and all these types of different yogas, you ultimately wants to get connected to the divine. Finally, we want that happiness. We want to know who we are, why we have been born, and what is the purpose of our life. And this is what we want actually, this self empowerment. You have to know yourself, why you have been there on this earth. Can you be connect with yourself? Can you be happy to yourself? What can you do to make that happiness? So you make stabilize your 5 things, and that's my last sentence. If you stabilize, और आपने अगर आपकी ये 5 चीजों को किसी भी सिचुएशन के सामने स्थिर किया, if you stabilize these 5 things, you will start finding the happiness. Number 1, intelligence. As he said, you've been intelligent. Means yeah, human beings are intelligent. So buddhi is very very important. Unless आपकी बुद्धि स्थिर नहीं होती, आप कुछ नहीं सोच सकते, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. जिसकी बुद्धि अस्थिर होती है, उसको आप कैसे भी मैनिपुलेट कर सकते हो, उसको आप अतिरेकी भी बना सकते हो, कुछ भी कर सकते हो. अगर सपोज आपकी बुद्धि स्थिर है, तो आपकी प्रोग्रेस अच्छी होगी. तो कैसे बुद्धि स्थिर करें? ओनली विथ नॉलेज. सो नॉलेज इज द की टू मेक योर इंटेलिजेंस स्टेबल. And once that becomes stable, it is going to lead you towards the happiness. The second one is your body. How will you make your body stabilize? It's very very important. Unless your body is not stable, then it is not possible for you to make anything stable on the earth. So body to be stable is, as he says, it's very important, is a good diet and your exercise. And this is what is the actually yoga. When you start making your body and your breath and your mind and soul together, that becomes a very stable in your day-to-day life. So third one is your mind. मन को स्थिर कैसे करें? आपके मन को स्थिर करने के लिए आपको इसको एकाग्रता बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसको एक जगह पे लाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. मन इज वेरी चंचल. इवन व्हेन श्री कृष्ण सेड टू अर्जुना दैट मेक योर माइंड स्टेबल नाउ व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग, तो शी सेज मैं वायु को भी स्थिर कर सकता हूँ, मैं निद्रा को भी वश में कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन मन को करना, मन चंचलम बोल रहा, मन बहुत चंचल है, तो उसको स्टेबल करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इफ आप स्टेबल करोगे, it will be leading to happiness. The fourth one is your heart, your hriday. Whenever you stabilize your hriday, that is a circulation actually. How will you stabilize? It is with compassion. If the compassion comes in you, slowly your heart will get stabilized, your circulation will start getting stabilized. So compassion या प्रेम जो बोलते हैं, love is not love which you usually think of love, but love is actually to understand each and every person is the son of a god, or whenever you start making them seen in one platform. The last one is your soul. The soul, how will you make your soul stabilize? The soul needs a very different kind of nurturing, and that if your nurturing soul becomes very important to you, and you realize that how to empower your soul, everything becomes stable. So these are the 5 factors. If you start making them stable, whenever a situation comes, you slowly start becoming self-empowered. Slowly you will understand that how we can face the situation, difficult situation, and this will help you to actually face your patience. It is actually, suppose it is a doctor's program, it has changed my way of looking at the practice completely. IVF failure, Patient used to say me that, doctor, you have failed. How? I used to think that what I did my level best. And why the patient is saying like this? And I used to get agitated in my mind that why patient is like blaming me. So it was not a blame game. So with this all Bhagavad Gita, I have realized now it is not the blame game, but it is that patient's agony, which wants to know why this is failed, what I have done wrong, or am I going right way. So with that compassion, if you start explaining to the patient, you yourself will start understanding the patients, and you both becomes very stable, and you take the second step. So it makes a lot of difference if you start bringing the compassion in your day-to-day counseling. Makes a lot of difference in the practice. You rejuvenate completely your practice, and you start feeling a new life in your practice. So this is what I felt, and I think all the doctors will be actually going through this all, and if they practice this small bits of it, it will help them. Thank you, Leena. It was excellent initiative. I really liked it. And Rajvi coming as a first speaker and first demonstrator, I think we have been really blessed. So let's see, because she has been practiced, we see her a live demonstration. Actually, she has been transformed herself. So transformation is very important, but unless we work towards it, it is not possible. So thank you so much, Leena, for this opportunity. Thank you, IFS, Shweta.
Yeah. Thank you,
Dr.
madam. Thank you so much. It was very nice. It was and to listen to you. And now we are waiting, eagerly waiting to hear from Dr. Rajvi and embark this journey of transformation further. So for this, I would like to invite Dr. Rajvi Mehta. She's a clinical embryologist with PhD in human IVF. Not only this, she is a student of Iyengar yoga for many decades, invited teacher at conventions in Europe, China, Israel, UK. She's editor of Yoga Rahasya, and she's also advisor to Ministry of Ayush. And she has studied on yoga in patients with Parkinson's disease, and she has been awarded the best paper in neuroscience conference at Singapore. So, madam, we are eagerly waiting to learn more from you. Welcome, Dr. Rajvi.
Thank you, Dr. Leena. Thank you, Dr. Bharti. Well, as Dr. Pankaj just said, it was on last Sunday that he just called and said he wants to start the self-empowerment program. So when we asked him, I said, sir, what is the plan? He said, no, the idea has come half an hour ago and we have to launch it. This subject is very close to me. I'm not talking with the depth of Dr. Bharti about the Gita, but I'm talking from a basic ground level. And the interest stems when you wonder that, especially during the pandemic, when the doctors were working very hard across the world, you used to hear, especially in the first phase, about the death of the doctors, the struggles. I started wondering, they take care of others, who takes care of them? And I'm not a clinician, I'm an embryologist, but you do meet both sides. You meet the patients, you meet the clinicians. And at that point of time, just at the end of the pandemic, we ventured into a project for active study sponsored by the Department of Science and Technology to study the impact the practice of yoga had on medical professionals. And I learned a lot from there, and I see some of the names here. After 2 years, we just sent a message and they're here. So, friends, the idea is that when you talk of self-empowerment, Dr. Pankaj gave one viewpoint. He's talked about, how the cell phone and today's generation, the stress people feel, and he talked about the having a reactionary behavior, which you get angry. You shouldn't have, but you get angry. And Dr. Bharti gave the very spiritual view of how we need to evolve our mind, emotions, intelligence, senses to get a unified approach. So what I'm going to be talking about is the subject of yoga, which encompasses, brings about the union of the body, mind, emotions, intelligence, and the spirit. So we are neither in the past, neither in the future. You are in the neutral state. And if you are in the neutral state, you can't be thinking of the past, you can't be thinking of the future. And that's where you get absorbed in what you're doing. So there is no reason to have any kind of anxieties or stress because your perception of stress is. Now, the idea of this program, of course, Dr. Bharti is going to lead it, and maybe over the months, given an opportunity, we would really like to give a live practical session. Today was short notice. I noticed many, like Dr. Shweta, is actually driving back home or possibly to the clinic. But we are going to be trying to show you what the subject is. So in a very short time, I'm just going to try to present to you what is the role of yoga in a doctor's life, or I would say very general healthcare professional's life. And to say that, what I'm going to say is, today is the International Day of Yoga. And mind you, when Prime Minister Modi suggested it to the UN, it seems 191 nations unanimously accepted. Now, the fact is, it's not because they had great love for PM Modi or great love for India that they accepted it. The fact is, the world knew the benefits of yoga by work done by many yogis in the last century that it got accepted. Now, I would like to bring in what exactly is yoga. Bhagavad Gita is the master text on yoga. There can't be a text beyond the Bhagavad Gita on yoga. But on the same time, if you ask today's people across, what do you understand by yoga? They are going to have various explanations. Somebody will say it is doing all types of postures. Somebody will say that is not yoga, that is exercise. You do Surya Namaskar. Yoga is far beyond. It is, if the pranayam part is yoga, it's a breathing exercises. Friends, asana, pranayama are both parts of yoga. Then somebody will say, no, it is dhyana, that is yoga, meditation. Meditation is also part of yoga. Yoga, as defined by Patanjali, includes yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, which means it includes the asanas, the postures. The postures cannot be done unless there's involvement of the mind, the breath, and the emotions. All are strongly connected. Now, in the short time, if you ask people what is the defect, somebody will say it's a good workout. If you're doing Surya Namaskar, somebody will say it's a working, somebody says it's quietness, somebody says, if you're a medical forum, you'll say, oh, where's the evidence? Well, the fact is that there are many research papers on yoga, but here we are looking at yoga in a very generic term. So you have to understand, it's like saying medicine works and medicine does not work. And that would be quite a statement which is so ridiculous, because medicine, you need to define what you're giving, when you're giving, how you're giving, which group you're giving. So also in yoga, when we talk of yoga, it is a very broad term. And future, if you want evidence, we need to work in that sense. So everybody's explanation of yoga depends on what they have experienced. So if I have done Surya Namaskar, I believe that is yoga. That is only yoga. If I have done, pranayam, I believe that is yoga. And that's where, even in yoga, you start creating bifurcations. But all are strongly interlinked. Now, I'm going to say a very simple explanation of the interlinking between the body, mind, breath, and emotions. Now, if all of you are around, and most of you would have read at some point of time when you had more time in hand, some kind of novel where they would have a description of a depressed man. And the description would be sunken shoulders, drooping shoulders, sunken chest. The body posture reflects the state of the mind of the person. So, if you can modify the body posture, the state of the mind of the person changes. Now, the mind and the breath are two sides of the same coin. For example, when one is anxious, or if you're sitting in a, you can slouch yourself, your breathing becomes very shallow. When the breathing becomes shallow, anxiety sets in. So therefore, you have the terminology butterflies in one's stomach. On the other hand, if you are sitting erect, widening your shoulders, getting your eyes withdrawn towards the back of the skull, your breathing becomes soft and smooth. So the mind becomes quiet. So body, mind, breath, emotions are so strongly interlinked. It's a circle, and you can start from anywhere. The fact remains that if you are doing it, the easiest to handle is the body. Because people, you can say, I can ask you, be quiet. Don't think of anything. Be quiet. And the more you say, be quiet, don't think of anything, the mind is going to wander. But if your mind gets absorbed in what you're doing, you have natural quietness. So the practice of yoga, and hopefully in the near future, I'll get an opportunity for you to participate, gets your mind so absorbed that the mind, body, breath become one. And when you are one, there is no conflict, there is no disturbance. Now, when we come to the doctors, and today being Yoga Day, and I would like to present more poetically what Guruji said, yoga is like music, the rhythm of the body, the melody of the mind, and the harmony of the soul create the symphony of life. So, what one may define as happiness, we may have different a sense of happiness, but when all these three are together, there is symphony. But when they are haywire, where the body says one thing, but the mind does say something else, there is only cacophony. You have the same tools, the body, mind, and the breath, but they can create a cacophony, which often people complain, but both can never be separated. You can never say, I have a stomach ache, but I can perform perfectly well whatever task I'm doing. It does affect our so-called physical performance. Similarly, if you are disturbed, you cannot say my mind is disturbed for whatever reason, it reflects on your body. So the practice of yoga aims to bring all this together. Now, we, as I said, we talk about health of doctors, paramedics give health to others. What about their health? And what I mean by health is not just a disease-free state, but no state of disease, which also means that in the mental state, for example, sometimes, like Dr. Pankaj said, you get angry and then you say, why did I get angry? Even that is a dis-ease state because your mind tells you what happened or what is going to happen is not good. So again, it's a state where there's a complete harmony, which I've already spoken about. Now let's get to the doctors. And I'm going to talk about some data which has come in 2022, and now some more data has come in 2024, which is pretty similar. And this was done across 13,000 physicians across 29 specialties. And what they found out, and they were studying burnout in these people, in these doctors, and it's a large number of 13,000 people, they found that, as you can see, more than 40%, so in whatever specialty, 40% faced burnout, and that is a large number. And highest is, of course, emergency medicine. It is a lot of stress, critical care, obstetrics and gynecology, 2022, so infectious diseases, yes, it was the COVID time. But you can see that overall, it is very, very high. 40% of the people in the profession felt burnout. How could, how can they be happy? How can they enjoy life? Enjoyment not in the very superficial term, but appreciate life or appreciate the job they're doing. And if one looks at it, it was this study was done across period of time from 2019, and as you can see, the pandemic came in 2020. The burnout was 50%, and post-pandemic again it had risen. It has been there. So irrespective of the pandemic, burnout in medical professionals is very high, more than 40%. And the surprising part was that 1 in 5 of the 9,300 physicians considered leaving the profession. Now, imagine a world where the medical professionals feel like leaving because they are not happy and they are not happy with what they're doing. And to me, being a non-medical person, not being a clinician, I do know the amount of effort taken by doctors even to attain your MD degree, the amount of years of hard work, the endless nights that has been spent. And after that, if this is the situation. Now, what exactly is burnout? They talked about burnout, emotional exhaustion. It is not a feeling of physical fatigue, but it's all emotional. It's an emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and loss of personal accomplishment. Why people are giving life to others, why people are bringing life to others, why people are saving lives, their own life is being taken away because they feel depersonalized. And the information is pretty similar between men and women, slightly higher in women, and can be understood because of traditional roles that women play, physiological roles that women play, that yes, there will be a slightly higher burnout. And mind you, when it is a young professional, the idea of the reproductive physiology, pregnancy, and add-on professional issues can take. Now, furthermore, there are occupational hazards which go with the medical profession, and it is something which is not really spoken about. In the N number of conferences that I have attended on fertility and reproductive health, I think very rarely is this aspect spoken about. There is back pain among healthcare workers, neck and upper back pain among eye care professionals, ergonomical musculoskeletal discomfort in cytogenesis. We are stooping over a microscope. And I don't see why things would be different even for people working in the IVF field, whether they are embryologists or obstetricians and gynecologists, ultrasonographers, arm and neck pain. Now, I mean, today, an infertility clinic cannot work without an ultrasonologist. And, you're playing multiple roles, lower back pain and work and stress related musculoskeletal. So if you are going to get so many skeletal muscular disorders, it is definitely going to affect one's work profile, the sense of not happiness. So how can the body be in pain and the mind be calm, quiet, happy? As much as I want to be, as much as I could listen to people telling me, not to worry about anything, all this is immaterial, don't go after materialistic things. The fact remains, if I am in pain, I cannot be in a state of happiness. And I cannot ignore pain. It is, I can be distracted from the pain. I can be taught something. I can watch a movie or music or listen to spiritual discourses. Momentarily, yes, my mind is distracted. But the fact remains, we need to get to the root cause and add to that. So, while the practice of yoga, and here I would just like to show you the connection. And I don't know, I know you're located in different places, but I will give you a little example. But there is a strong interconnect between the body, mind, breath. And we'll do a very small, because I know we are running short of time, that a very quick experience of how we can show the interaction between the body, mind, and breath. So I will try to give that to you. Just a moment, this went off. Yeah. So now I'm going to show that it's an experiential subject. So just for a few 5 minutes, if it is possible, I would like all of you to stand up. And if you're sitting, you can sit on a chair. Now, while you're standing, most of the time we tend to stand casually. So when one is standing, it is, the body is slouching, the muscles are loose. Now, what you can do is stand, widen the feet, broaden the metatarsals, spread the foot out, and place the base of the mounts on the toes. Now, moment you place them down on the floor, you find a firmness in the legs, the knees, because for long hours, either you are standing, you're having surgeries for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, or you're sitting, and that's where the knees take the load. Now, again, broaden the knees and notice that when you do that, what happens to the shoulders. So we just saw just a glimpse of the title of 6-7 papers. We talked about neck pain. Now, if I'm like this, there is a shortening of the neck, and it's only natural. There is tension, and one is too much in the frontal thinking, forward thinking brain. Now, moment I stand with the mouse, I get the shoulder blades in, my head becomes erect. You can also try it. Now, more when you go, even when you're sitting, you can allow the vision of the eyes, extend the skin of the forehead down, extend the upper eyelid down, and allow the eyes to withdraw towards the back of the skull. A simple position, but which immediately quietens the mind. So sometime when there is something stressful to be done, somewhere where you need an entire amount of focus, where a deviation of the mind is not possible or very risky, these things get you in centralized. So the mind remains very sharp and alert. So quick decisions can be taken. I'm making it very generic because it's a deep subject which cannot even be introduced in some time. Now, again, shoulders is a major issue. So something very simple is interlock the fingers behind, web to web between the palms, move the shoulders back, extend the shoulder blades in towards the chest, and straighten out the arms. And notice how the head goes straight. Friends, the state of anxiety is always reflected in a person sitting like this. There's like, a lot of burden on the head. Well, the fact is that if one is involved in what it is, the burden goes away, you get centralized. Another simple asana is where one can use a chair. This is, of course, a normal folding chairs which is there in old households, but now they have become yoga chairs. But irrespective, one tries to sit straight. Now, this is how one tends to sit or tends to sit like this, creating tension. So one can sit straight, sit on the frontal edges of the buttock bones, place the palms on their thighs, allow the shoulders to broaden, move the shoulder blades deep in towards the chest, elongate the neck, extend the upper arms down towards the elbows. Do not create any pressure on the palms. Extend the upper eyelid down towards the face, towards the cheeks. Keep the throat soft. Tongue not touching either the upper palate or the lower palate. The tongue reflects the state of the mind. When the thoughts seep in, the tongue gets active. So when the thought ceases, speech ceases. So the mind becomes quiet. Now when the spine is alert, sharp, as if it is being connected from the base, from the frontal part of the buttock bones, with your eyes closed, evolve your sense of interoception and visualize the vertebral column lifting up vertebrae by vertebrae, elongating the sides of the neck, the shoulders descending. Now silently watch the breath. We breathe, but we are concerned of the breath only when we become breathless. So silently observe the breath. Get sensitized to watching the touch of the breath in the nostrils. Now, imagine you're inhaling the fragrance of a rose. And try to inhale that fragrance. Observe how that breath gets absorbed. Slowly exhale, open the eyes. As I see, we had till 7:30, it's 7:30, but this was, I would say, a taster, a flavor of a flavor, an introduction to an introduction on what the subject of yoga is. I do see a familiar names, and Dr. Sangeeta, you've been there for 2 years ago, and if you would like to express, as a medical professional working in a very high stress conditions on the impact of yoga, I don't know where you are, you may be even in the OT for all I know. So in case it's possible, anybody wishes to express something to or ask any questions, I'm open, or hopefully we'll get an opportunity to do some sessions where we can work on unifying the body, mind, and breath. So under the initiative of Dr. Pankaj Talwar, who wants this self-empowerment program, it would be nice to see that all of you who are involved in giving health to the rest of the world can take care of your own health. And by health, I don't mean a disease-free state. I mean where there is a state of complete harmony. And when you are in complete harmony, you're happy. So thank you, Dr. Pankaj Talwar, Dr. Leena, Dr. Bharti. As I know, we have to stick to time. In a field of IVF, that time is the biggest factor. So I end here. And anything, if anybody wishes to say, express, I'm open.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajvi, for taking this step and taking us start this transformative journey. And it is very nice, and we would like to connect with you for future more sessions also, in which we plan to have more of motivational talks, more on lifestyle, diet, affirmation, and so on. So now I would like to invite Dr. Shweta Mittal. She is our secretary, IFS. Dr. Shweta is a very dynamic person, very hardworking, dedicated, passionate. She is working as a consultant, senior IVF consultant with Sir Gangaram Hospital. Dr. Shweta, we would like you to say a few words of wisdom. Is Dr. Shweta with us?
No,
I think
she's
she's not there.
not
She,
there.
She left,
Dr.
I think.
Bharti, would you like to conclude the session? Hello.
Yes, I think we should conclude here.
Yes.
Next time I will present my PPT, not this time, but the next time we'll take, and I think we'll involve many people. It was very short time this time, but still so many people joined, and it was really a very, you can say, self discovery only. This is all is a discovery of yourself. And Dr. Pankaj Talwar has actually, with Dr. Leena's innovative idea, they have been launched this program and they made me a part of it. I'm really very happy. Thank you, Dr. Rajvi. It was excellent. A small, short, but very nice 2, 3 steps what she has showed would help. Uh, and that is going to go in a long run, especially in the doctor's profession. So thank you so much, Dr. Leena. I think we will stop over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, Dr. Rajvi, Dr. Bharti, and all our special guests for joining us. See you again in the next session.
There is one suggestion. I think not suggestion, but just talk. Dr. Anjali Patil, who is our chapter secretary from Western Maharashtra, has written her thoughts. Actually, the research is needed for the role of yoga and pranayama in infertility. True, because breathing definitely is important, and the body is extremely important to respond. So we see when we actually give ovarian stimulation to the different patients, they respond differently. So we know that this is somewhere down the line, the body's means per person's lifestyle definitely makes a lot of difference. If the person is all the time stressful, her receptors will not be that efficiently. I always see this polymorphism, and these all the new terminologies has come, and now new research we have realized that every patient doesn't respond the way we expect, is somewhere down the line deals with your all this self awareness, self lifestyle. So, and lifestyle doesn't mean only, I always tell, lifestyle doesn't mean smoking, drinking now. Lifestyle is has so many aspects to it. Lifestyle is not only smoking. I don't smoke, I don't drink. That means I have a good lifestyle. No, how many hours you are sleeping, how deep you are sleeping, how you eat, how much you eat, how is your gut health. This is all is actually a lifestyle. It's not only how you think, how is your thought process. Whenever you see a person, do you appreciate that person? Like whenever I'm seeing Leena, I'm very happy. She's a very happy face. This is a very happy from inside. This is how you should, that feeling should be there. And that feeling makes you more and more live and more
Yeah,
enthusiastic.
each and every cell of your body beaming with joy and happiness. So that's what we are
and that
looking
and that
at.
reflects, yeah, that reflects on your face, how you look, how, people say no, you don't look that old or whatever you see. And some people, they look very childish or girlish, and like this body, their body looks, that is all is your actually self awareness, how you connect to yourself, your inner self. So once you start understanding how to connect with your inner self, it is something a very joy. Your anger starts going down, your envy starts going down, and you start getting open up, and you're ready for any situation at any time. You don't feel egoistic. Oh, they did not call me before, they did not give me a proper intimation, so how can I go there, how can I do this all? This is all is the burden what we are taking with that ego. So if we see that it's okay, this opportunities come, let me tackle, let me handle this, let me go into this, dive into this, and see how it is. It would be fun. So this is how self-empowerment is actually all about.
Yeah, thank you, madam. And we'll continue our journey of this joy and happiness further also. Thank you so much. Now we'll conclude and close the session. Thank you, madam. Namaskar.